Do I hear piano or something? What's that?
No, that was Panavision. I was listening
Oh,
to
nice. Yeah,
Smile again.
I do like that album.
It's great, man. It's
I
great.
I just
Classic, I think. It's one of the. It's a classic. Uh oh.
I don't I haven't tried to organize it in my head yet. I don't I think I'm a little cooler on it than you are.
This is how I determine whether or not it's a great album. It's like I am just thrashing it all the time.
Yeah.
Very simple
I haven't
math.
hit it at that level. The thing I've been thrashing that like I literally wake up every day. Like that's how I know an album's got into my DNA as well, is when you wake up and there's a song in your head. Like
Yep.
from like 9 a.m.,
It's my
right there.
Christmas song from last year, isn't it?
It's your Christmas song. It's a banger. It's a real banger.
I knew it.
Um,
Earworm.
no, it's the new Andrew Bird album, Inside Problems, which on my first listen to, I was a little like cool on, which tends to be the case every time I listen to one of his new albums, because every time I'm like, oh, what's he doing? Oh, I don't get it, and then it just sunk in, and now like it's quite unusual for me to hammer an album to actually like listen to it on repeat or every time I get in the car to put it on again. But I have been thrashing Inside Problems, and it is just in my head constantly, constantly.
Yeah. I love that you always send me Andrew Bird related things, even though I've never listened to Andrew Bird.
I just guess I hope that it rubs off.
I mean, I feel like at some point, the more you do that, the less likely it is I'm going to listen to it. But I appreciate that you're thinking of me anytime.
But you
Like,
don't
you
tend
could
to
send me a
listen to
Katy Perry
anything.
album, and I'd be like, "That's sweet. He's thinking of me."
I don't think you tend to listen to anything I send you these days.
No, I don't listen to anything anyone tells me to watch or see. I literally have to find it myself. I wonder what the psychology is there, because it is like and by the way, I'm the king of recommendations. I'm constantly telling people what to listen to, what movies to watch.
Yeah, we have a segment
and yet
called
I would
Recommendation
never.
Engine.
I have a recommendation in my daily life, just with strangers, and yet I just can't. I can't bring myself to listen to something that someone has told me. And it's not even a conscious thing. I'm just something I'm not doing.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Is it like you don't know me? What makes you think that you could guess what it is that I like? Like,
It's
I'm too eccentric.
it's that, but not like the fuck you-ness of that. It's more that I feel like in my brain I've never really liked something that someone's recommended properly to me, which isn't true. But then, I mean, I can't really remember the last time someone's recommended something to me and I've gone and
Yeah, because you never
really loved
fucking
it.
try it.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, I would listen to something if Tom York recommended an album, I'd probably
Okay,
go out and look for it.
sure.
But just my stupid friends like you,
Yeah.
nah.
If Louis C.K. recommended Andrew Bird, you'd be all over it.
Did he? Did he?
He did, yeah. Big fan.
Oh, wow. I'll yeah, I might download it on LimeWire then.
Oh, welcome to Deep Thought, everyone. Nice to be back. Nice to be in this rhythm again. Nice to see your furry face. This is a podcast where we just tick off the big news of the week and give our intelligent and well-reasoned thoughts. Sitting through the internet with me this week, my friend Michael. Hey.
Hey Nick, none of that was true, but I'm with you. I'll back it.
Sorry, what's your name then?
No, the name thing was true.
Okay.
Yeah. The other stuff was bullshit.
And I'm Nick. Thank you, one and all. How you been? Hair's grown out.
How have I been? You know what? Fucking great.
Okay.
Fucking
wow.
great.
Good week.
I've been sleeping better.
Okay.
Last step I talked a little bit the anxiety monster, like creeping in.
Yeah.
But I've been taking a high dose of heroin. And I'm out like a light. A high dose of what is it? Magnesium. a couple of hours before I go to sleep, and I'm having these really vivid dreams, but they're like just fun. They're just fun dreams. They're like classic adventure dreams, and I'm
You're
remembering
Indiana
them.
Jonesing. You're
It's a little of that.
Matrix reloading.
Yeah. I mean, there's like horses involved. There's food fights.
There's horses involved.
There's been boats. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Sounds like you're having a great summer holiday.
it's honestly great, and you're remembering them, and they're not scary, and they're just a classic dream, you know. And I'm
Just water skiing on a horse kind of dreams.
sleeping right through till my alarm. So I'm feeling great. I also just got a new job, and I just accepted a new
shite.
job.
Wow.
So I'm going to be starting that in a couple of weeks.
That's very exciting.
It is exciting. It's change is always fun. Change is always good. It's always scary as well, but I like it.
Yeah. When someone like suggests a new album or something to really like freshen that like audio landscape that you've sunk in, it changes good. You know, it's great to hear other people's thoughts and to bring something new
100%.
into the fold.
I've always said that.
You've always said that.
But yeah, so there's a bit happening in my life, but it's all positive. How are you?
That's great. So what does that mean in terms of career? Can we talk about direction, or do you, like what kind of work you'll be doing?
I won't say where
Yeah.
it is. I think I told you last week or whatever, but it's in a different industry. It's in a more of a scientific industry, more medical in nature.
You're becoming a drug
I-
testing victim where they just inject you with random things and see what happens.
Yeah, I like the idea of a job title with the word victim in the title.
Look, it's not up to you. Maybe if you would climb the ladder, you'll get up to the point where you can change what the name is. But at this point,
I'll be the victimee.
you'll be the victimizer.
Victimizer.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, how exciting. Congratulations.
Thanks.
To go back one step, do you feel like anxiety about a job process was perhaps contributing to the sleeplessness, or is that entirely unrelated?
No, I don't think it was that at all, because this job process, for this particular role, kind of wasn't something that was on my radar until it was. So it wasn't something that I was like actively pursuing. So I wasn't really thinking about it. But I think a couple of the other things that were keeping me up at night, I think I have, on some level at least, and not wanting to speak too early, but I think on some level have at least made peace with them or resolved them in my head, just logically. So I think it's on the up and up.
That's great. Where'd the magnesium thing come from? Is that a Joe Rogan?
Well, no. Well, I had been taking magnesium for post gym recovery because it helps with muscles and stuff.
Look, I'd buy it. That sounds completely legitimate.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, it helps with muscles and stuff.
No, it helps with muscle recovery.
Yeah,
okay?
and stuff. Yeah.
And stuff. I don't fucking know, man. I'm not a doctor.
I
might be soon.
That might be the point that I'm making. Yeah.
Okay. So you just decided to interject with
Well, it just didn't sound very authoritative, is my point.
Well, I'm not authoritative. Okay.
Sure.
I have no idea what magnesium is. I thought it had something to do with magnets.
Well, it is a metal. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I'm fucking smart again.
It circles around. It comes back.
So I was taking that for like muscle recovery and stuff, and then I honestly just saw this like high dose magnesium on special. It was like cheaper than the other stuff, which is always good when you're buying products that are you being ingested into your body for supposed health benefits that are on a slash sale.
Yeah.
But I thought, fuck it, let's go. So I've been taking these like higher dose magnesiums. I think they're like triple the strength of a normal one. And I'm out like a light. My muscles are
Loosened.
bulging.
Okay.
And my sleep is, adventurous.
Adventurous sleep, bulging muscles. What more can you ask for?
Exactly.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Chemist
So
Warehouse does it again.
it was Chemist Warehouse. I love Chemist Warehouse.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They are good. Do you have Chemist Warehouse in New Zealand?
Do we have Chemist Warehouse in New Zealand?
Do you?
Yes, yeah, we do.
It's called Chemist Warehouse, though. Because the accent.
It's not even how the accent goes.
Chemist Warehouse.
No, okay.
There's
Sure.
something there.
I don't know if there is.
So, tell me one thing that's been happening in your life.
I bought a vibrator. Sorry, a massage gun. Massage gun. That's what the polite people call it.
Yeah.
So, just having had these ongoing knee issues and knowing that like the migraine stuff is often neck and shoulder or tightness kind of related, thought let's get one of these fucking like massage gun things. Give it a go, see what happens. Quite fun.
Yeah.
Quite aggressive. You could hurt someone with that.
Put it in your ass yet?
I haven't put it in my ass yet. I don't think it's got
Okay.
the right attachments. Maybe you have to
All
look online.
Yeah, Amazon.
Amazon. Well, they have everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
So that's been like a nice sort of
Now,
improvement in
is
the
this a
muscle recovery.
self-massage type thing, or
Yeah.
are you employing...
No, it's
cases
me.
or-
No, it's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what a
That's
massage
still
gun
fine.
is, right?
Yeah, I've seen one.
Yeah.
It's like a thing, but I would
It's like a
imagine it'd be
hairdryer.
nice on your back or something.
Yeah, but you can get it on your back with, just holding it over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's
I
my
am
life, really.
imagining, you holding it and then opening your mouth and then just it pounding your mouth. But
If
that
you're
might-
imagining that, that's all up to you.
well, now everyone else listening to
Well,
this is
you have
imagining
sort of
it.
put it out there, which is it.
It's the beauty of saying things. You can put anything in someone's brain. I can say yellow spider fucking a giraffe, and you are thinking,
I am thinking
of
about that.
how that would work
I don't
in
know.
your brain.
It's just so small versus so big.
Yeah.
Well, I guess teaches you not to judge a book by its cover.
That's exactly
You can't
my
just
point.
assume who the top is based on stature.
Exactly.
Good lessons. Good lessons. Otherwise, life has been pretty much the same as last time I talked to you. I've been heavily working on this video game work, and we actually just today put in a proposal for some development funding for a new TV show idea that we've got cooking up. So I have been working to draft all those kind of documents and outlines and series overviews and concepts and things to put together. And
Wait, did I know about this new TV idea?
Maybe.
What's the idea? Tell everyone.
No, I won't. But
Tell
I'll
the entire.
would-
Tell the entire world.
I'll tell you. It's called. It's a bit of a temp name, but it's about and massive streets and streets of.
Hell yeah!
And so we're sort of doing a New Zealand vomit.
Whoa. Oh, you haven't told me about this. This sounds cool.
Gets into a car.
Sounds really cool. It sounds pretty ambitious too.
Yeah, it'll be more expensive than Good Grief for sure. If we got to make it the way we wanted.
Sounds good, man. Sounds really good.
So I've beeped
Exciting.
all of that out, but I'll leave in this little end bit where you approve of it, and we'll just cross our fingers and hope that there's interest there to fund some development of it, and then ultimately hope next year to perhaps produce it, get production funding as well.
Well, it definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And not in the boomer way that boomers mean interesting. When they mean
not in a confusing way where it's like, well, that's interesting.
yeah, or how else do they use that? It's like when interesting, it's like someone's a bit out there. When someone's got tattoos, like, oh, he's interesting.
Yeah, we there's an underlying current of I don't approve of that. Yes.
Let me just hit record on this because
Wait, you haven't recorded any of this?
on the visuals, just because I feel like I haven't put up a clip lately, and I think we're overdue for a clip. And
You haven't put up a clip in like years.
No, it's been like maybe since December. I don't know. People like
It's
the clips.
fucking September. That's 9 months ago.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said months.
Well, yeah, but that's closer to years than it is to months.
Well, this is the fucking clip. It's the clip about the clip.
It's a clip of just me looking
And
up. Okay, I take it back. You put up a clip in May. I was wrong.
so was I. But yeah, this is the clip.
Is it? What do we? Is this what gets people listening?
God, no. I mean, no, nothing gets anyone listening, apparently.
Take off your pants. Do something interesting. Oh my god. Oh shit.
Views,
Well,
baby.
now it is the clip. Now you have to use it.
So meta.
Yeah.
Fucking meta.
Fuck. You knew what you were doing all along. I shouldn't have doubted you.
I knew it.
Watch the
content
likes
master.
roll in.
We should start a deep for OnlyFans, dude. I'm telling you.
No one wants that. So, speaking of assholes, the Queen died.
Oh, wow. Nicholas Shunts. Fuck. You do not say that about Her Majesty.
Her Madge.
Her Madge. Imagine Her Madge's vag.
Jesus.
Does you reckon she calls it Her Majesty? She wants Prince Philip. She was like, call it your Majesty.
Oh, well, this is off to a good start.
Honestly, when was the last time do you reckon she had sex? Do you reckon the 80s maybe? I don't think she had sex after Princess Di died. I think
You mean not on the day, or just as an era?
I reckon she masturbated on the day because she was real happy about that.
Fucking
She
hell.
jerked it on the day. She got a massage gun and she was like pop it straight on Her Majesty.
Oh god. So she died 96, right? She's the Queen.
Yeah.
Princess
Di, I mean.
Philip. To put it kindly, probably not in his peak for the past 30 years.
No, he looked like he was dead for the last.
He looked dead forever. So, yeah, you're probably right. Probably the 80s.
There you go. I picked it.
Yeah.
Because that's now a fact.
Yeah. We could ask, we could send a request to Buckingham Palace.
I would even go further as to say that she probably only had sex maybe 10 times in her life.
Yeah,
I don't know
think
how
that's true.
I don't know how many children she's got because she's not only just, the queen, but she's like got this like she's from like the 20s or something, who knows, where she's got this like proper lady thing where you only have sex, for a reason. Is it a thing?
I don't know. Well, I mean, like from a religious perspective, there was the whole sex is for creation of life thing. I don't know how the Church of England fits into that, but the Church of England like literally treats her as a descendant of God, right? Like,
Do they really?
I think so. I think she is the head of the Church of England. Or she was. The monarch is. Maybe I could actually look this up.
Yeah, look up while you're there. Look up the last time Queen Elizabeth
Victoria masturbation. Whoa, that's not what I. Well, yeah. Oh, Papa likey.
Papa likey. Wow.
Okay. History of the Church of England. God, there's a lot here.
So she's like the Pope, kind of.
The Queen's role was defender of the faith and supreme governor of the Church of England. It's an important element of her role as monarch and a deeply personal part of her life, but she respected all faiths. So at her coronation, the Queen was anointed by the Archbishop of Canterbury and took an oath to maintain and preserve inviolably the settlement of the Church of England and the doctrine, worship, discipline, and government thereof as by law established in England. Since the 16th century, monarchs have sworn to maintain the Church of Scotland, and the Queen made her pledge to preserve the settlement of the true Protestant religion on her accession in February 1952. So yeah, it is like an actual religious title as well.
It's so the Queen death thing. I'm just like, I feel that there is like this sense. It's like I'm just really gobsmacked by how much it feels like a medieval thing because the royal family, they're around in the media. Like it also just baffles me why the media is so obsessed with this, but there must be an appetite for it somewhere.
Well, I think
But
part of it is that the media's viewership, the only media that watches live TV or, that kind of stuff now is older, right? So it's all this boomer plus demographic that they're
but
catering to.
I heard somewhere that the younger generations are the ones that are really into the royal family. The Gen Zers.
The Gen
Apparently, there's
Zers?
apparently Gen Z is
In
really there's a
Australia.
lot. I heard this from someone who I think would be who's a bit of an authority on this matter actually, but I haven't looked it up myself. But she did say that. But what I was saying before is that with the Queen dying, it's like it's just relentless in the news, and it's relentless in the papers and stuff. And it just does. Don't you just feel like, oh, we're just little peasants again? Like this feels like the 13th century, and we're like, oh, the Queen has died, and we're just like the groveling little, oh, the Queen. Like it's so dumb.
It is weird, right? It's the first time really in day-to-day life that you get that reminder that, oh yeah, Australia's got a head of state that lives in a different country, right? Like we're not actually our own thing. For all that like day-to-day Australia is its own thing. It is that reminder of like, yeah, this is weird, isn't it? Like I have to assume that it won't be long before the Republic referendum comes up again. It was 2001 that it first happened, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's 20 years. That's a long time. I have to think it would become a republic if it was on the ballot today.
Sure. Yeah, it's tough to know why. It's tough to see how this could be sustainable in the future, but I don't know. On some level, I think people really do love it. I mean, in I was listening to Sam Harris did a little bit of a podcast on it recently, and he had someone on that was saying that, yeah, it's easy to hate the royal family and easy to see how. I mean, it is weird that it's just this bloodline thing that is handed down, and if you come out of the right vagina, then you have all this power and wealth and adoration. And just seems so archaic and almost primitive to some degree. But on some level, the Queen and the British monarchy has represented Britain in a way that no other country has had. So it's like this kind of representation of Britishness, which this author was arguing actually does serve the people on some level, just to have this kind of outlet or this ambassador for their country on a level that a president, for example, may not be able to do.
But why cannot a president represent that? Is
Because I
it
think
just an
it's
age thing? It's just because it's been around for 1500 years.
I mean, it could be that. I mean, well, not just. Wait, it could be that. But I guess it also could be the fact that the Queen is the Queen for, I don't know, 60 years was she? Who
Oh,
knows? 80
more,
years.
yeah. 52 to
So she
22 is
has
70.
rule. She has rule for that long. Maybe part of this love of royalty, is in our DNA on some level. I mean, you could kind of trace it back and reverse engineer it to having, I don't know, what is it like? I'm thinking like caveman times, like there's just like this person. It's like it's wisdom. It's the ancestry. It's the bloodline thing. It almost seems like a bit caveman-y or something.
I don't see that. I see it more like religion. It's like,
Sure.
here's the authority, here's the person who has the power, here's the person who represents our values, here's the person who decides what life is for us. We, devote ourselves to her, and in kind, she is a benevolent and, generous sovereign who allows us to till the fields. I think that allegiance nowadays has to be seen more through a religious lens than through a, like, I mean, some of it's definitely patriotism, But that
Yeah.
fandom for it, that enthusiasm, it's not like a modern day fandom where it's like I love
Movie star
Marvel.
or something.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
big Christian Bale fan. It's not the same
Yeah.
because, as you say, there's an authority to it. There's a presence about it, which, I mean, very literally, she was the head of the Church of England. So you have to treat it more like it's a belief system more than it is a functional part of a nation's identity, because plenty of countries don't have it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there must be some necessity for it on some level. There's got to be, it has to have served a purpose and served a purpose well in order for it to have survived for this long.
Well, I mean,
Because
not necessarily.
people could theoretically just reject the royal family.
Yeah, there could be a revolution. I mean, it happens, when people historically rejected their king, they got beheaded, that you can overthrow that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that I've been thinking about, like with, kind of marrying this up with my thing. I'm thinking about the Queen way too much, which I don't like for one. But then I'm trying to think, okay, what is this idea of the Queen? What ideas about the Queen, and not just the Queen that died, but any Queen? What are those ideas that I have, and all of those images and all of those ideas that I have about that have come from like Disney movies or fairy tales, where the Queen has been kind of a ruthless, almost like dictator, off with your head kind of thing. So my idea of the Queen has not necessarily been a positive one, but I mean, obviously she's a sweet old lady who, likes a gin and likes to kill princesses who don't fit in with her family. But I feel like there's like this, it doesn't quite fit with the idea of queenness that I have had growing up as a child. But I mean, look, Disney's
Yeah,
got a
it's
lot to answer
not
for.
a full reality, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think now that adherence, that love is really going to come under the magnifying glass, but also be tested because now it's King Charles. And now all those people who were royal watchers and fans and all that kind of thing of the monarchy and of Queen Victoria specifically are now going to find themselves with a new person to look at. And I wonder how many of them will, re-examine that in the wake of her death.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few Australian politicians coming out and and saying now is the time for a referendum. But it is also funny. Like Albanese, I think has run on a "Let's Become a Republic" ticket, and is also he's compelled to join in and say how she was this and that, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you make of the response, the indignation when some people vocally said that they don't care about the Queen, or that pointed out that she was responsible for generations of racist behavior by her monarchy towards other colonies, and the mistreatment of people even into modern history. There was examples listed here in New Zealand where a visiting, what do you call it, like a Queen's visit, required people to be ousted from their lands and their villages because they were seen as like the buildings and everything were seen as ugly, and so they were kicked off their property and had the buildings demolished to make way for
Recently,
this is like 50 years ago, like semi-recent history. Like that kind of shit is still going to be a very real wound and a very real reason not to like these people. And yet when some of that context was given, in the wake of a lot of adulation, as you say, there was immediate pushback of like, how dare you, like, this woman died, like, why are you dancing in her grave? What do you make of that kind of response overall?
well, I think if it's criticisms laid against historical indignations or historical
Injustices,
mistakes,
yeah.
injustices, I am a little hesitant to start calling people out on that. So with that specifically, I feel like the royal family, like any corporation, and I feel like on some level they are a corporation or at least an organization. They will have to adjust with the times. So I believe, like Apple or Google, they will ride that wave with the times and they will adapt. So I feel, but it will also be just reactionary to the culture. I don't. I have no problem calling. I have no problem with people calling her out for the idea of royalty. I have no problem with people saying that this is a rubbish idea at this time. I mean, people are precious about the Queen dying. People hold her very dear in their hearts. But I just don't care about any of it. So it's very hard for me to care about people, tweeting that the Queen's a bitch.
Yeah. The McDonald's here at the mall was flying flag at half mast
Oh,
in like the Eastgate Mall here, and you're like, what? Who is this for? Like, I promise you, the Queen never went there. She never got a McFlurry in the drive-through. She's not. She's not going to be particularly fussed one way or the other if the flag's up or not. There's all the corporate side of it that started coming through was where it really felt surreal to me. Like, I get if you're a person and you're like, I really like the Queen and I'm sad that she's died. I'm sorry for your loss. Like, feel however you want. It's very odd to me that when I was at the gym the other day, there's like a rest in peace Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria, what's her name? Queen Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yeah.
Queen Elizabeth on
The last one was, yeah. Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth, like in a black and white portrait, 1920 whatever to 2022, up on the thing, interspersed between like all the fucking gym videos of like skateboarding fails and people doing like press ups and cats falling off of benches, like, and all the other random shit. And then there's one black and white slide which says "Rest in peace." What? And you're like, what are we doing? Why do they feel like there needed to be this? Why does McDonald's feel like they need to fly half flag? Why does any of the corporate world need to import? Like, if you're in the UK, okay, I sort of see it.
Yeah.
Over here, who fucking cares?
Yeah. Well, look, my mum. I mean, my mum did grow up in England, so I guess it's something. But my mum, in our family chat, Ben and I are all like cracking jokes or sharing memes about the Queen.
Yeah.
So
There
the
was
best
some
thing
good
about her
queens.
dying was some great memes.
Good queens.
But my mum was like, "No, this is a sad day. Like this, she meant a lot." I'm like, "Okay, I didn't push it."
Yeah.
But yeah, it just all that stuff, kind of that you're speaking to, speaks to the fact that this is not about one person. This is about people love the idea of royalty. They like the idea of the monarchy. It's not about the Queen. It's about the Queen's image. It's about the Queen's face on a coin or on a $5 bill. Like, I feel like that's what it's about. It's about what she represents. And on some level, I get it. But then it's just not a human thing. I just feel like it's not a human thing. It's about like an icon and people wanting to worship an icon. And in some way, I guess, then she is a god to some degree. She's not only a messenger to God, apparently with the Archbishop of Canterbury or whatever, but she is herself a deity, and people want to worship. And maybe that means, on some level, that people need something to worship. I don't know. I might be getting too much into it.
No, it almost feels like there is a psychological kind of safety net aspect to it, right? Where it's like, despite all the shit that goes on in our day-to-day lives, there is someone out there kind of looking out for us. Like, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it might be that. Like, she's like you said earlier, the benevolent one who bestows upon us, I don't know, taxes?
Yeah.
Christmas? She
And
gave us Christmas, didn't she?
it's like a law thing, though, right? It's a rituals thing, a rites thing. Like half of the funereal stuff this week that we've seen, like carrying rocks from Scotland down to England for the funeral and that kind of stuff. It's this kind of, it was almost a physical representation of history, right? Of legacy that was walking around. And it's kind of like a steadying presence, I guess, because it, with that position, with that constancy, is that the word I'm looking for, of having a monarch there, you get a, it's like there's psychological reassurance from it, I think, of having had that tie to the past, to where we came from.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something there, and I think she's linking generations, so that constancy, if that is a word, is something that people I can imagine would feel comfort in, or she was the queen of my mother as well as me and my daughter, or something like that. But then that coupled with this, almost godlikeness of her, I feel like there is like a worshipping element to her, or to the idea of her, that people are really latching onto. And also, what's going to happen now with Chucky? I mean, he's just come in. He's already, I don't know if you saw this video of him, cracking the shits when he was trying to sign some documents.
No.
Pretty funny. There's this like video going around where he's like, it's one of the first things that he's signing, and he's like, I hate this. It's really funny. And then Camilla comes in and she's like, I got it. But he's just going to come in. Also, I thought the king, not to be gendered, but the king was higher than the queen. But I think
you're thinking of playing cards.
Yeah, and chess or something.
Yeah.
Or cards. You said cards? Or
yeah, playing cards. Yeah.
Darts. I thought you said darts, and I still agreed.
Weird.
I think, again, my idea of royalty comes from Disney movies. But the king and the queen were together. Like, you didn't have... Well, I guess... Was Prince Philip the king? Oh, who fucking cares?
No, Prince...
Because she was blood, and he was
Prince Philip
married.
was not
he married
the king,
into the royal
right?
family.
Wait,
He
was her cousin.
Oh, he was. I mean, that's hot. Good on her.
Prince Philip was called Prince Philip. Like, he was the royal consort.
So can technically you have a king and a queen simultaneously still?
Yes.
They should wear the crowns all the time. Because she's
That's
not
what
even wearing the
confused me.
crown. Wear
Why
a
was he-
crown.
So he was born Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark,
What a loser.
and then he became consort of the Queen.
Yeah. But I think all the royal family is incest, isn't it?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it in the bloodline, baby. So your cousin's starting to look real good after a couple of G&Ts by Big Ben. I don't know where they drink.
I'm sure that there's gins. Surely. She's
No,
not going to
mean,
drink like a vodka martini.
No, she's famously a big gin drinker.
Yeah. What do you think the least classy food or drink the Queen ever had was? Do you reckon she ever ate like a
hot dog?
Yeah, or
like a Bunnings sausage sizzle.
A Bunnings sausage sizzle, or like a just like a Big Mac.
Fucking would love that. Like, I would have loved it if in your McDonald's where you saw them flying the flag half mast, that they like named like a Royale or something, because that's a burger, isn't it? Like the Royale burger after the Queen, and people just seeing the flag half mast and they're like, oh, I could go a double cheese right now.
Do you reckon she ever had a chocolate milkshake?
I reckon she sipped a chocolate milkshake, but I reckon she ate a lot of potatoes. I think she had a lot of roast dinners.
100%.
And I don't think she ate much else.
Do you think she ever had like a Nando's peri peri?
I don't.
Maybe lemon and herb?
Yeah.
Wouldn't go up to mild.
I don't think she had Nando's.
You know what I will say?
Specifically.
She definitely ate baked beans. And that's canned food. So I reckon there's a slim chance that she might have had canned spaghetti.
It's not true that baked beans only exist in a can, Nick.
Well,
You
I
can
think
have
for
your
most
butler.
people.
Your butler can whip you up some
But then it's not
mean baked
baked beans, right?
I wouldn't mind trying baked beans, just like whipped up, not in a can.
Just
like
homemade.
that
Or
feels like
whenever
a
you go to
trendy
like
restaurant thing that could happen.
when you
It's
go
like
to a
baked
brunch,
beans, like
when you-
hipster baked beans.
when you go to a brunch place, you will get beans on the side sometimes with the eggs. That wouldn't be from a can. Well, they might have got the beans out of the can and then made quote unquote baked beans with the can of beans.
These are all good points. What else don't you think the Queen did? Do you think the Queen ever watched Netflix?
You know, I think it is true that the Queen actually was a Wii Sports player. I think she fucking loved Wii Sports. Let me Google this. I am pretty confident that she played Wii Sports for like 10 years after it was relevant. I'm not joking.
She didn't call it Wii Sports though. I can't imagine going. She'd be like, "Where's that game with the funny tennis game or something?"
Back in 2008, British newspaper The People claimed that Elizabeth II was so completely enamored with her grandson's Wii that she begged to join in on the fun. It was reported at the time that then girlfriend of Princess William, Kate Middleton, had given her beau a Wii as a Christmas present. They were playing Wii bowling, and the Queen wanted in. A palace source claimed that she was hooked.
God, wouldn't you love to be around a fly on the be a fly on the wall at Christmas time? Like, what gifts are they giving each other
Yeah.
at Christmas? Like, if you're Kate Middleton, you're like, "Fuck, what? I have to get the Queen another gift this year." What
Do you think she
does
needs more
want?
socks?
Do you think she's got like an iPhone notes on her phone? You just like gift ideas for Lizzie. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I guess maybe we get her another falcon? I don't know. She's got so many.
Again. But it'd be funny if the Queen's just like, just get me a falcon. Like, don't make it weird. Just, I love falcons.
I love falcons.
Get me a falcon.
Just give me a brown one.
Get me a brown one. But we got you a brown one last year. I need another one.
They don't last very long.
Not the way I fly them.
They keep flying into all the palace windows.
My corgis keep eating them.
God,
Yeah, that's the other
monarchy.
thing. The corgis thing. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Everyone's talking about corgis.
Really?
Just everyone. Yeah. Everyone just shut up
even I
about
knew
the
the
Queen.
corgis.
Like, let's get on with it.
Yeah.
But the other thing, Nick, I was just going to add was that it just occurred to me that, I mean, so I think it's Thailand or the Philippines. They also have kings and queens that are not part of the British monarchy.
Yeah.
And
Well, lots of places have had.
yeah, I guess they do places in Africa and stuff. And in those places, you really do get a sense from Western media that those places are run like a dictatorship,
Yeah.
you know, which could very well be true. And it probably is true. And they're probably running it very differently than how the Queen. I'm not saying the Queen was a dictator.
No.
But it just goes to show that this bloodline handing down of power through the bloodline is not it. It is not a fair and meritocratic way to divvy out power. Like it's just it can't be.
It is
good.
actually
It
unusual.
Cannot be good.
It's unusual that Britain had a democracy alongside the monarchy like that.
Yeah.
That hadn't happened until it had to happen for stability.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Commonwealth as well, having this kind of independence, it's absolutely, as you say, not a guaranteed thing. And certainly most of those other places where there is a one rule or policy with an inheritance and that kind of thing do not tend to give the people any say in it, because that way lies trouble for them. And you know, it's true even in, you know, very successful places like China. That's, you know, having an emperor, having a head of state which is entirely fulfilling, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-appointed. Allows them a lot more control and a lot more money. That's the
Yeah,
weird
I
thing
mean-
about the inheritance as well going into King Charles is that he just gets all the Queen's money. There's no like inheritance tax or anything. It all just like magically passes over to him.
But is that tax? Is that money from taxpayers?
Well,
Do
yeah,
taxpayers fund the Queen?
I think so.
That's ridiculous.
Well, they own so much property as well. How much does the royal family cost the British taxpayer? A financial report, this is 2022. According to the Sovereign Grant, which funds the Queen and her household's official expenses, released in June 2022, the monarchy costs the British taxpayer $102.4 million.
Wow. So they're literally just taking from poor people.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Funds are used to renovate Buckingham Palace, which is undergoing a 10-year refurbishment plan.
Okay. That's a tourist destination, so that's fine.
Oh, well, they're going to be doing the inside, so that's not really ever seen. Funds are used to pay for royal duties, like receptions, garden parties, and visiting schools. Almost 2,300 official engagements were carried out. Travel costs rose to £4.5 million. So that's international travel. Most of the grant was spent on the cost of maintaining the occupied royal palaces and staff pay.
So speaking of the monarchy, I've actually got a little fun fact
Excuse
that
me,
ties in with this.
A fun fact, did you say? You mean
A fun fact.
my segment? Fun facts. Fun facts. We got a fun facts. You know the fun facts. Is that what you're talking about?
Get
Or
your
did you mean
bootleg
perhaps?
jingle out the way, and
Did
then
you mean
now,
a fucking Michael's facts? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I mean a Michael's fun facts. Okay.
Sorry, Michael's facts are not fun. And
Okay.
for trademark purposes, they
Right.
cannot be fun. So
It's gonna be
please,
fun.
please be very clear. Are we doing a fun facts? Is this enjoyable, or is it one of those kind of tedious things that you've just accidentally Googled?
100% just tedious, not fun at all.
Okay, Mikey's facts.
Play the jing.
Michael's facts, Michael's facts, facts machine, oh here's a bonus fact. If you've got knowledge, well look it up, 'cause Michael's facts are here to stay.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So yes, we're speaking a lot about monkeys. Well, I guess we are. Yeah. Speaking a lot about monarchies.
We've been talking about monkeys.
But I wonder how. Okay, Nick, I've got 2 words for you. Carrots. How do carrots tie in
Okay.
with the monarchy?
Okay. How do carrots tie in with the monarchy? So
Well,
the two
not
words,
just-
just to be
not
clear,
just the-
your 2 words
not-
are carrots and how.
No, carrots is 2 words.
Carrots.
Carrots. And it's not the monarchy, it's monarchies, okay?
With monarchies
you'll-
generally.
Monarchies. So you're wondering now, as is everyone, how the fuck is Michael going to do this? How the fuck
still-
is he going to tie in carrots with monarchies?
I'm still
And-
thinking about the spider fucking the giraffe.
Good. That's exactly what I wanted. Well, I'll tell you how carrots tie in with monarchies. Okay? So for centuries, carrots were yellow, white, or purple. Already mind blown?
No, I mean, I did know that. Yep.
Okay, well, my mind was blown when I read that.
You're sorry. Your mum was blown when you read that.
My mum blew me when I read that. So for centuries,
Oh, Her Majesty.
do not speak about my mum's. Okay, this is too much. So for centuries, I didn't know that all carrots were yellow, white, and purple. But in the 17th century, most carrots turned orange. Why?
Why?
Well, it may have to do with Dutch politics.
Do you want me to say why so that you could? It feels like a sort of a conversation. Or are you happy to
You
just
just keep thinking about the spider and the giraffe.
Okay.
So
Why?
in the 17th, in the 17th century, Dutch farmers began cultivating orange carrots as a tribute to William of Orange, who led the struggle for Dutch independence, and the colour stuck. 1,000 years of yellow, white and purple carrot history was wiped out in one generation. Some scholars doubt if orange carrots even existed prior to the 16th century, but they are now the most common type of carrot in the world. Presumably crosses between eastern purple, western white and red, and perhaps wild carrots led to the formation of the orange-rooted carrot subspecies. So farmers in the Netherlands started cultivating orange carrots as a tribute to this what's his name, William of Orange, who led the Dutch led the Dutch into independence. I thought that was pretty cool and not at all fun.
That is exactly what it is. That's very interesting. No excitement or fun involved, which is exactly what I signed up for. I'd say full marks. That's a very interesting factoid. And
it is. It just kind of took off around the world.
And I think we've actually segued back into one of our favorite segments here, because when you think about white carrots, what are we talking about? We're talking parsnips. We're in the vicinity of parsnips, and we're back in Snip Chat. It's taken us a while. Cousin. It's parsnip party time, because we all know historically that this is a podcast about parsnips with a lot of parsnip adoration out there, and it's been a while since we brought that up. So I think that it's about time that we return to the original purpose of this show and started just talking parsnips.
Yeah, the parsnip pod.
Yeah.
Now, I will just add a small caveat to what I just said, which is that the World Carrot Museum, which is 100% a real institution, says that this theory that I've just put to you as fact is there isn't enough evidence to support the theory. So I just wanted to add that. But I think we can all agree that the folks there at the WCM have a stick up their ass. And that stick is a giant orange carrot invented by the Dutch as a tribute to Sir Willem van Orange, which is the Dutch name.
Yeah. Those are some real carrot facts.
I got one more carrot fact for you, just because I'm just going to throw it in there, because I did a lot of research and it was all scientific, and it was a lot of reading today to present to you this very informative segment. Carrots were first invented where? Let's make it a game. Where were they first invented, Nick?
Carrots were first invented.
Yeah, dude.
Where were they first invented? Still really focused on trying to understand what that meant. Where were carrots first invented?
Okay, where did they first grow? If that's more within
accurate or understandable.
Yeah, more accurate.
Where did they first grow? Okay, so what have we established so far? There were Asian purple carrots. There were European white carrots. There was, did you say Danish?
No.
William de Orange. Who cultivated the orange ones?
The Dutch.
The Dutch, not the
Netherlanders.
Danish. Yes. So where did they start? I think it's going to be a trick question. I think nobody knows.
Incorrect. It was Iran. So the first carrots invented in Iran, then they were domesticated in Asia in the 10th century, and it wasn't Europe.
Domesticated.
Yeah, they
in
domesticated
Iran, they were
them.
just wild feral carrots rolling over the
Asia.
sand dunes.
They spread out to Asia, and then wild carrots is a thing, I think. And they were like, they had carrots as pets.
Whoa, boy.
Then Asia broadly
Easy.
kind of just got them, got them in check. And then it was only in the 17th century did Europe even know what a fucking carrot was, which I think is great. And all orange carrots come from the Netherlands. So I tricked you. That was fucking fun. And this was a Mikey Fun Facts.
Fuck! Real carrot facts, Megan. If you've enjoyed this kind of thing, please tell your friends, tell your family, and tell your barber, because they need something to listen to when they're just doing the same old thing to Michael's hair every single time. There's plenty more episodes in the Deep Forward archive. Scroll down that podcast feed or find it on the website. You can keep in touch with us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter for notifications of new episodes. You can send us questions and comments to deepforward@gmail.com. You can rate us on Apple Podcasts. Wouldn't that be fun? And you can eat more carrots for dinner if that's the kind of thing that brings you closer to the Queen, R.I.P.
And carrots make your eyesight good, apparently.
That's a myth.
That is definitely a myth. It might be a myth as much as the thing that I just said is a fact, but old wives' tale.
Old wives' tale. That's wives for you. That's why I'm not interested. Always telling you lies.
Yeah, old wives' tale is kind of offensive now, isn't it? You know, I was thinking it was offensive
But it's
the other
an
day.
old tale, right? It's not an old wife, necessarily.
I guess. But you know, I would realize was offensive, and this is rare that I realize things are offensive before I am told that they're offensive. Is that I used the expression "fall on deaf ears," and I thought, well, that's kind of rude.
Falls on deaf ears.
It's like, why are you
don't
bringing
know.
the deaf? Why are you bringing the deaf into this?
Is that offensive?
Just because I didn't hear. No, well, it's saying "fall on deaf ears." It's like someone's not listened. I mean, that's rude, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it? It is factually true that deaf people can't hear things, right? So surely the origin of that statement is like someone who's deaf can't hear you. Like it's not necessarily pejorative against it. It's like they didn't hear it.
But then it's kind of
They
bringing
weren't
out.
listening.
It's highlighting the fact. It's highlighting the fact that those people can't listen. I don't know. It just feels like unnecessary. Anyway, dude, I'm working than you, so shut up.
Okay, I'm sorry. It feels a little bit like the whole Peter thing where they want to introduce new sayings. Like instead of saying flog a dead horse, they substituted like new phrases. It's like it's a metaphorical horse. No one's being injured.
Yeah. I also saw this fucking Instagram fitness guy that I follow started calling them Ukrainian twists.
Ukrainian twists.
Instead of Russian twists. He's just renamed them in honor of Ukraine, man.
That's
And even worse than that, you Woolworths, you know how they've got those frozen chicken Kievs? They've rebranded them. This is not a joke. They've rebranded them to chicken Kievs.
really
Spelled with the
Y,
Y
I-V.
and the I. Out of solidarity. Thanks, Woolworths.
Now I feel better eating my chicken Kiev.
Yeah, fucking Putin's just
What- but
scrolling
what's-
through the
what's the-
catalog, just going, oh, those fucking Woolworths.
What's the historical point there? Kiev is the Russian way that they named it. Is that what they're getting at?
Yes, I think
It's a
because
transliteration.
I'm murky on this, but I think Kiev was originally part of Russia and then became its own sovereign nation, and then Ukrainians renamed it Kiev with a different pronunciation. So Kiev is technically Russian or something along those lines.
Well, we'll have to get a Ukrainian on the podcast who can really speak to this.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It might be nice if someone cared about Ukrainian history on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll get the message from your dad and he'll tell us.
Yeah, I'm not getting any messages from my dad right now. So.
Oh, okay. Fun times.
Oh, yeah. So what you got for me, Nick? I feel like you got a science news brewing in that sweet brain of yours.
Yeah, I got a little bit. And actually, it does tie into the Queen because I'm talking doddering old fools, Alzheimer's.
Can't say old fools.
Play the jingle.
It's that time. Time for science news.
Okay. Did you see this, Michael? This was a bit of news that came out in the last couple of months, I think. Basically, it seems that everything we know or thought we knew about Alzheimer's is wrong.
Maybe we just forgot.
Maybe we just forgot. So there was a recent discovery by a neuroscientist who was just innocently investigating an Alzheimer's drug, an experimental drug, and went back to look at the papers and discovered what seemed to be scientific misconduct and fraud in one of the original documents, the original papers, I should say, which pushed Alzheimer's research down a path of sticky brain deposits kind of stuff. Do you have any sort of idea of the current, until recently, the best theory of Alzheimer's?
No, I don't have no idea.
So the hypothesis was that sticky brain deposits of a protein, amyloid beta, was found on Alzheimer's patients, and that was sort of a hallmark of a diagnosis, was you'd see these deposits on the brain. And so all the research has gone into this direction. All of the drug development has been trying to repair the protein that blocks those deposits being placed on the brain. All of it has been about, can we get rid of this sort of sticky plaque? Well, one person went back, looked through the research, looked at the original papers, and found evidence that some of the data had been fraudulently duplicated in the very original paper. The images that they used seem to have been copied and pasted to reinforce a hypothesis that was potentially not actually there. And as a result, the past 15 plus years of scientific research had basically been based on a flawed conclusion, and a decade and a half's worth of work is looking like it's basically useless.
Wow.
So the study was originally published in 2006, and basically said that these clumps of the protein known as plaques in the brain tissue were the primary cause of Alzheimer's, which affects tens of millions of people. And it looks sort of like a smoking gun. It led to this whole range of therapies. And then they've started to pull at this thread and look back at the original data. And one of the problems has been that they would, like, all of this research would go into these plaques. All of these drug companies would try and build drugs that would, prevent the plaque buildup, would try and stop this happening. And invariably, all of them would go through a very long, years-long process, working through mice and other test subjects, getting up to humans, and they would all fail at the human test stage. They would all not help with the Alzheimer's, and it was baffling people, and it was, billions of dollars invested in this thing. And it's all looking like it was just based on fraud. Like, this original author faked some of the image, faked a result, and then everything that came subsequent has been wrong or irrelevant.
That's the problem with some of these scientists, isn't it? They, if you get to a point in your work where you've just studied this the whole time on banking that this hypothesis is going to be true, and then it's not true, you feel like you don't want to accept that and waste all this work that you've done. So you still put it out there, and then it's like with the marshmallow test. I think that was debunked as well for the same reason. Yeah. Like, it's you're putting yourself first.
We should say, sorry, not for the same reason. The marshmallow test, as far as I understand it, was that the rigor of the original test was not there and didn't take into account the kids' backgrounds. And when they retested, they found that the people who came from poorer backgrounds would always take the marshmallow because growing up food had been scarce. And so you don't turn down an opportunity to eat now because there's no guarantee there will be a thing in the future. Whereas people from upper class backgrounds who could rely on steady food would leave the marshmallow and trust it would come later. So it was completely missed at the time, but there was never any indication that was a fraud thing. This is very much like someone fucked with the data with the Alzheimer's thing and deliberately misled people.
Well, they're bringing a bad name to science, and I don't stand for that.
Yeah, it's like a real crazy shame. In some ways, it does prove that science works, because the data was there to go back and be looked at, and it was noted and caught. But it's like, it's crazy that this, like, literally like 15 years worth of subsequent research is just wasted for nothing.
So annoying.
So annoying. I mean, the crazy thing as well, when you look at something like the vaccine development of COVID, it shows how like a synchronized, heavily invested, government-supported research project can produce results in an incredible time frame. And yet, when you look at it, at something like Alzheimer's, which has had billions of dollars of investment, and it's all based on premises that are not entirely honest, you feel like, oh God, there's still so much fallibility in this system.
Yeah. Do you reckon Alzheimer's is one of the worst diseases to get?
I mean, anything which fucks with your sense of self, your cognition, awareness, ability to enjoy life, that's the worst stuff.
But here's the thing about it, like, I feel like it's worse for the people around you than it is for you, because you're kind of living in bliss. Like, you don't care that you don't remember, unless you have the cognitive ability to be able to realize that you are losing. Like, the decline would be bad. But once you're in that sweet spot of not remembering anyone and everyone's new to you, I mean, isn't there a certain amount of bliss there?
Unless there's something where it's like your husband died 20 years ago and you are
and you're
being
stuck
like,
in...
where's Peter? And you keep asking and everyone has to keep telling you like he's not coming.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing, if you're aware of yourself, you can heal and you can move on from. But if you're stuck in it, that would be awful. But I think you're right. It is a thing about the people around you, right?
Yeah, I mean, from the outside, it's terrifying. From the outside, it's like there's something otherworldly about it in a way. Like it's like sleepwalking. For me, it's in that same category. You know, when someone's sleepwalking, for some reason to me, that is just so scary. When they're there, but they're not there.
Yeah.
It's almost like this possessed kind of thing. Which I'm not saying people who have Alzheimer's are possessed, but it's like it's like the uncanny valley, but in real life. It's like they're them, but they're not them. And it's I don't know. It terrifies me to think that I could lose my mind in that way. I mean, I think schizophrenia would probably be more debilitating and more scary.
Yeah,
but dementia and Alzheimer's are pretty terrifying too.
It's so rough on the people around them, as they say. Like, I know a few. So one of my close friends' dad is really suffering, like quite young, from a degenerative Alzheimer's, like in his 50s.
Wow.
Maybe 60s now. Still very young. And yeah, the burden it's placing on sort of still like a young adult, in your 30s, to deal with a dad who's deteriorating like that has been incredibly difficult, because then you become, the person in charge of their medical care, of their estate, of all this kind of stuff, which is such a stress and a burden and a legal responsibility and all this kind of fucked up shit, which you just don't expect to have to deal with so young.
Yeah.
And then
I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's awful. And then secondly, like my aunt's second husband at the moment has a neurological disorder that is looking pretty terminal now. And that's the kind of thing where it's like hard as well, because I get the sense that he doesn't really know that it's terminal. And that's the stuff where it's like fucked up. And I guess like that's the like, would you want to know? Like,
wow.
But
how do you know that it's terminal and he doesn't?
Because all the doctors know, but like it's just not like registered for him.
So he's acting like it's not.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And that's the crazy thing, where it's, that neurological shit is just intense, man.
Well, that's the other thing that you realize as you get older and probably start to get towards our age, or I think we have parents around the same age, is that you start to think of in your 20s, you think of your parents still as, these people who have their shit together and everything. They're still like the providers maybe in some way. And then you get into your 30s and your parents go into retirement and you're starting to come into your career and come into money and know yourself a bit better. But the thing that you don't factor in, at least for me, is that your parents are now starting to decline. And now you have to factor in, oh shit, like maybe I want to go travel overseas, but what if my parents get sick? Because that's a possibility. And that becomes more of a possibility as time goes on. And just for me, I just never really factored that in. I think in a lot of cultures, it's really built in that the adults take care of the child and then the child take care of the adults. I think in Asian cultures, that's like a real big thing.
Yeah.
But
it's
in Western culture, I don't think it's there.
Firsthand with KC and his parents.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think in Western cultures, it's almost like, you know, the parents get sick and then it's the child's responsibility to put them into a home, which is not, you know, cyclical in that way. But it's just something I've been thinking about lately that, you know, maybe I won't be able to do these things that I want to do. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying
you start to worry about it more. Yeah.
And not that they have any, serious health issues.
No.
But it's just a factor in the mix.
Yeah. Once you become more of an adult, it's inevitable that you have to start thinking about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fun show.
Great note to leave on, I think.
Yeah.
Death and losing your sense of self, baby.
Yeah. Deep thought. That's the deep thought special.
Woo.
Woo.
Cool. I'm going to a gig like soon, so I have to go.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. You just seemed a little bit. A little bit harsh.
A little bit abrupt. Do you want me to stay?
Yeah.
Do you want me to stay and watch until you're completely relaxed with this gun? It really looks like a comedy.
Papa like it.
Okay.
Listen to how hard this thing goes. 6 speeds.
Dude, I'm getting a little turned on with those vibrations in my ear.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.